Till Death Do Us Part by Reader Revolution. Summary. The Ghost King's terrifying form shimmered, the swirling mist and glowing eyes melting away to reveal a teenager with messy black hair and an exasperated expression. He looked about Billy's age, though the weight in his eyes suggested someone much older. "You heard me," the boy, no, the king, repeated. "That summoning ritual was a marriage contract. You and I, we are bounded together now, till death do us part, and considering I'm already dead, I'd say we are in this for the long haul. Or Billy and Danny get match-made by a random cultist." Billy Batson wasn't a stranger to chaos. Living on the streets for most of his life had taught him to roll with the punches. Being Captain Marvel, the champion of magic, and a member of the Justice League didn't help either, but nothing, absolutely nothing, could prepare him for this. Summoning circles were always bad, but when Billy found himself yanked through one while flying over Fawcett City, things went from bad to what the actual hell in record time. He crash-landed in the center of the dimly lit cave, its jagged walls lined with robbed cultists, chanting ominously in a language even the wisdom of Solomon couldn't decipher. Green flames flickered in sconces, casting eerie shadows across the space. Before Billy could question his surroundings or demand an explanation, a searing pain lashed through his chest. He gasped as a glowing sigil etched itself into his wrist. Its swirling patterns pulsed and sync with his heartbeat. "Okay, what the fresh hell is this?" Billy muttered, clutching his wrist. The air grew frigid, the temperature plummeting so fast his breath came out in visible puffs. Above the circle, the very fabric of reality seemed to ripple, and a jagged portal bursted open, spilling green mist and black energy into the cave. From the portal descended a figure cloaked in swirling shadows, his teal eyes glowing with fury. The aura of raw power radiating from him made Billy's skin crawl. "What did you do?" the figure snarled, his voice layered with an eldritch echo that rattled Billy's bones. The cultist froze in terror, the chanting abruptly cut off. Billy, however, could only gape at the newcomer. "This guy looks like a final boss from a horror movie." Hi?" Billy tried, raising his hand in a placating gesture. "I think there's been a mistake." The ghostly figure turned to him, his gaze softened briefly before narrowing again. "They bound us," he growled, glancing at the glowing sigil on his own wrist. One of the cultists stepped forward, trembling. "Oh, mighty Ghost King, we have summoned you to bestow upon us—" "Yeah, now," the Ghost King, and wow, isn't that something, interrupted. Raising a hand, the cultist was flung across the room with a wave of toxic energy, slamming into the far wall and crumbling into a heap. The others froze, their chants dying mid-syllable. "Okay, wow, no need to go nuclear," Billy yelped, stepping forward. "They summoned us for a marriage contract," the Ghost King snapped, his glowing eyes boring into Billy. Billy's brain short-circuited. "A what contract?" The Ghost King's expression fluttered as he gestured to the glowing sigils on their wrists. "Congratulations, mortal. You are now married to the King of the Infinite Realms." Billy blinked. "What?" The Ghost King's terrifying form shivered, the swirling mist and glowing eyes melting away to reveal a teenager with messy black hair and an exasperated expression. He looked about Billy's age, though the weight in his eyes suggested someone much older. "You heard me," the boy, no, the king, repeated. "That summoning ritual was a marriage contract. You and I, we are bound together now, till death do us part, and considering I'm already dead, I'd say we are in this for the long haul." Billy shook his head vehemently. No. That can't be right. I didn't agree to anything." "Neither did I!" The Ghost King shot back, throwing his hands in the air. But here we are! Billy opened his mouth to argue, but the words died on his tongue as the weight of the tether settled over him. He could feel it now, a strange pulsing connection between them. It wasn't painful, but it was intrusive. Great, Billy muttered. Just great. Tell me about it, the Ghost King muttered, running a hand through his hair. Billy scowled. I'm not just a mortal, you know. I'm Captain Marvel, yeah. I figured that out already, the Ghost King said, waving a hand dismissively. Doesn't change the fact that we are stuck together. There was a long, awkward silence. Finally, Billy sighed and extended a hand. Okay, look. If you're going to figure this out, might as well start with introductions. I'm Billy. Billy Batson. The Ghost King hesitated, then shook his hand. Name's Danny Phantom. And congratulations, Billy. You're my husband now. Billy couldn't help but grin. At least he's got style. Billy had dealt with plenty of weirdness in his life, but being magically married to an eldritch Ghost King took the cake. Danny wasn't thrilled either. For days, they tried everything to break the bond. They consulted magic texts, sought out obscure experts, and even ventured into the Rock of Eternity, but nothing worked. The contract was unbreakable. Bound by ancient magic, neither of them could unravel. As if that weren't bad enough, the bond came with the side effect. They could sense each other's emotions, and their magic occasionally reacted to one another in unpredictable and often explosive ways. Why does this always happen to me? Danny groaned, flopping onto the couch in Billy's new apartment. Billy snorted. At least you didn't have to sit through a league meeting with Wonder Woman giving you side-eye the whole time. Danny smirked. You're the one who let it slip you had a husband. I didn't mean to, Billy groaned, burying his face in his hands. They were asking about my weekend plans, and it just slipped out. And now they think Captain Marvel's married to some random guy, Danny teased. Better than them knowing you're the Ghost King. Billy shot back, and he shrugged. Fair. The partnership took an unexpected turn when Billy was ambushed by a new villain doing patrol. Pinned by magical snare, he struggled to summon the lightning, his transformation blocked by the spell. Before the villain could strike, the air turned icy, and a familiar eldritch figure materialized behind him. Not my husband, bitch! Danny roared, his monstrous form radiating barely contained fury. With a wave of his hand, the villain was sent flying into a nearby building. Billy groaned. Phantom, stubbornly! The villain fled in terror, leaving Danny to revert to his human form, brushing imaginary dust off his hoodie. You're welcome, Danny said smugly. When Billy turned around, the Justice League was staring at him. Superman was the first to ask. Care to explain? Billy sighed. Meet Phantom? My husband? And that was the one-shot. If you liked it, leave a like. If you like my videos in general, feel free to subscribe. Like, if you wanted to support this channel, or me in general, you can commission a podfic. Like, I can read your fanfiction or fanfiction someone else written. Infos to that are in my channel description. That's the two things that I know that I always need to say. I find it also interesting that the only pictures of King Danny that I have are like always like stoic and such, like never really in problems or something. It would be so cool if someone would draw like a picture with Danny being like a king and having some kind of problem. I don't know. This outro in general was kind of more embarrassing because a friend of mine had listened in while recording, and because I really started to the Discord server. Fuck. Yeah, like I made a Discord server, and I recorded on video on there. Like, you could join a VC and listen to me while I record. And that's my most likely live, and I did that, and my friend joined in, and I was like, he's there. So then the archer was like, this is embarrassing. I cannot fucking say anything because why is it so embarrassing to like just talk? But other than that, enjoy the rest of your time. See you next time.